The other day I was scrolling through Pinterest and I saw these really cute bookmarks, which gave me an idea. So I went up in my attic where I have a ton of like super old tattered books that I just can't part with. So I decided to make bookmarks using my Cricut pen, which I feel like not enough people utilize their Cricut pen and use it to its full advantage. So I decided to just record the process for you guys. Of course, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below and I'll try to answer them. But we're just going to jump right into the process and I'll see you later.
All right, so let's get our pages together. Fortunately, I have a bunch of old books and pages that I save for things like this. And then you're going to hop on Canva. So when you go on Canva, you're going to want to search black outline and flowers or hearts or whatever you're specifically looking for. And you're going to want to look for very thin clip art, or clip art that has very thin lines, because it's going to make it easier for the Cricut. So this flower right here is a bit too thick and I'm going to end up having to go back and fill in those lines. And you'll see what I mean when we get later in this video, but the Cricut works best when you're using super thin lines. So just trust me and trust the process. And then you're going to want to put each piece of clip art on its own individual page. And when you're all ready to download, we're going to do PNG, transparent background, select your slides, and then download. Okay, so now here's where I make a rookie mistake. I used a brand new super sticky Cricut mat with a very, very old book page, which is going to make it very difficult to remove if it doesn't rip. Okay, now we're going to switch over to Cricut Design Space. So once you're in there, we're going to upload those pictures that we saved. Okay, so go ahead and select your image. And then we don't need to select any of these settings because we already removed the background in Canva. But hypothetically, if you had a background, you could erase it here. So I'm going to click Apply and Continue. And then I always click Single Layer because we just need something very basic right now. Now, if your clip art comes out huge, just go ahead and shrink it to whatever size you need. And here, I'm going to play around with different shapes, try to get an idea for a design. If for some reason you're not able to alter your clip art, like the sizes won't change, you can just hit that little lock button above, and that'll just unlock the image so you can play around with the size. So feel free to fast forward this part. This is just me playing around with different shapes and clip art and trying to get an idea of what design I want to do. And if for some reason you want this flower to be attached to this rectangle just like that, you can just hit the group button and that will make sure that they don't come apart. Now this part coming up is super important. Every single element, you want to make sure you select pen. So everything on the right-hand side should say draw. Otherwise your Cricut is going to try to cut. Now when you're ready, go ahead and click Make and then adjust your elements wherever you want them to be on the page. And then hit Continue. So of course we're going to wait for my Cricut. And we are ready. So it's going to start drawing on the page. And feel free to skip over this part. I just think it's satisfying and it's fun to watch. Okay, and now here comes part 2 to that rookie mistake I was telling you about before. You should be very gentle ripping that off. I got way too ambitious, so I got stuck. So like we talked about before, because I didn't use a thin line for this particular clip art element, the Cricut will only do the outline for you. So I decided to just go in with a marker. If you like the look of the outline, by all means. I personally like when it looks filled in. So I'm just going through and filling it in with my marker so it looks a little more aesthetic or the way that I want. For the rest of the video, I'm just going to be painting, cutting, and just wrapping up. So this is where I'm going to leave you. If you decide to do this or if you're inspired by this video, I would absolutely love to see what you end up coming up with. So feel free to send me a message or tag me in whatever, and I'll chat with you guys later.